and it's so much fun doing this stuff.
Yeah. Well, it was a pretty timely. Like I got to tell you, it's pretty interesting that you reached out. First of all, thank you. That's great. But like I told you, I just I was talking about doing something like this on my end back in like at the start of COVID,
Yeah.
and my sister and I had some buddies saying, "Oh, you got to do it. You got to, you'll love it, and it'll be big act and all that stuff." And so anyway, I had finally just ordered a bunch of stuff. And, anyway, it's great.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I started doing what I started doing at the start of COVID, and it took me a while to realize why I was doing this actually until just recently. It was because, and if you listen to my podcast, I keep talking about because I started seeing the therapist a little while ago and just talking about like issues I was working through, and I think COVID really affected me, and there's a lot of issues that I was going through my life at that time as well. And
Sure.
she's like, "Well, you're very extroverted." I said, "No, I'm not that extroverted." She's like, "No, you are." And I was like, "Well, I don't really like being around people." She's like, No. Extroversion is you get your energy from people, despite whether you like them or not. People don't,
Yeah, sure.
right? Because I like going to bars, I like doing stuff like that, and I used to drink heavily, and drinking was a way to kind of cope with the anxiety of being around people that I wanted to be around. So it's
Sure.
kind of a weird thing. So, anyways, I was so when I started COVID, I started playing because I play music a little bit. So I started doing Facebook Live shows. I was doing one.
I did see some of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
just found it was a nice way to connect with people. I thought that was kind of a
Sure.
fun way to do it. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot out of you because you're always, well, I learned 10 songs a week.
Oh wow.
Or like I
Totally.
had to practice 10 songs a week and then I had to figure out how to do all the sound and stuff, which I never really understood. And it was kind of
Right.
stressful. And then I always try to pick the same time and because I wanted it live. But now
Yeah.
podcast is so much easier. I just sit here. Like, we can do it whenever it's convenient for
Yeah.
me.
You just do it when you want to do it, and you just shoot the shit.
And I've done number 6 and the 5 ones I've done before. It's just been awesome. Every time I get off, I shut the computer. I'm like, yes, feels so good to
Yeah.
connect with somebody. They're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
and they're all people like you, like I haven't seen forever.
Yeah. Well, that's great. This is a great idea. And I mean, I'd probably agree with you. I haven't been doing the podcast thing like you said, but you've probably seen a couple of those videos that I did,
Yes,
which would have been, for a first for me. And I think I was pretty clear on that first one, but it was a little bit, therapeutic. I was
it
kind of
is.
just spilling your guts, and I felt good even doing that. I felt super weird the first time recording myself. It felt like an idiot, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. I don't understand how like your sister works for TSN. You were saying or something like that.
Right.
She's a producer with them or
No, she's actually camera.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
she does camera it says Sportsnet now, but she's done both TSN and Sportsnet.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
her boyfriend of 25 plus years, he is the director.
Okay.
Actually, so I've gotten to sit with him in the truck, at games and watch him direct the show. And anyway, she's just very familiar, obviously, with all
Yeah,
that.
like I guess my point is I met Jackie Redmond a few years ago at
Oh yeah,
a charity thing.
Right.
Chatted with her for a while, and she was like, and she was actually doing we have a big sports celebrity dinner here in Saskatoon that our Kinsman Club actually puts on, and it's
Nice.
huge. We get all the big like we had Gretzky and Lemieux and whoever else there,
Oh, yeah.
and she was there. She was there with Guy Lafleur and Mary Lemieux. It was awesome, but she was like nervous because she's got to be the host. I was like, you speak to millions of people every night.
This is your job, yeah. So
And she's like, it's not the same. It's I know, like I'd be freaked out talking to a camera, knowing
Yeah.
that, a million people are however many people are watching, but she was like more intimidated by standing in front. And also like, she didn't do a lot of those live events either. Like she's usually just
Oh yeah.
being herself,
Well, it's
but
funny.
yeah,
That's what my sister wanted to do. She wanted to be in front initially. After in college, she wanted to be on camera because she was a good speaker.
yeah.
Once it actually came time to get in front of the camera, she realized she didn't want to be on camera.
Maybe that's your job. Maybe you should have followed
Yeah.
in steps.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. No, the videos are awesome. We'll talk about those in a bit, but
Sure. Yeah.
they're pretty awesome. It's like, man, and I was thinking that guy should have a podcast.
That's funny. I did have a couple of people say that, and I was like,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like, how do I? No, I had thought about it. I just, because I don't. I'm a I tell people that's all I bring to the table is I love to shoot the shit and tell stories. That's really all I've ever enjoyed
Oh,
doing.
who are your favorite podcasters? Who do you follow? Like,
Well, I don't follow a ton, to be honest, but I've
yeah,
always, like, Joe Rogan would be, obviously one of my top,
yeah,
probably top. I did follow only because through an allegiance to my sister. I followed Jay and Dan pretty religiously in the very beginning when they first started their podcasting. I kind of fell
yeah,
off.
yeah.
What about yourself? Like, who would
Well,
be your...
I found several different ones that I like. Joe Rogan, though, like he's number one in terms of what I'm trying to do, because all he's doing is just talking to people, and he
Yeah,
doesn't know anything. He just
yeah,
goes
yeah.
and shoots his mouth
He's
off,
great to listen to.
and well, yeah, and you can imagine yourself sitting there with a beer. You can talk
Mhm.
for an hour with him. Well, he probably get really high. Actually, I don't really like when he gets really high because he kind of loses it a little bit. He's
Yeah,
really good, but then there's other then you find some other little obscure ones based on whatever I'm listening to. So there's a few film podcasts that I really enjoy, and
oh yeah.
music ones, and I don't know, whatever the mood is. And the best part about podcasts, you can find a topic about anything. But my favorite ones are just people just talking.
Yeah, just shooting the breeze. It's like talk radio, right?
So I was like, I can do that. That's all Joe Rogan's doing. He's just talking to people.
Yeah.
No talent.
No. Yeah.
With that at all. So that's what I was thinking. But you could probably handle that too. It's a similar type of thing. And you just sort of set the limits of how often you want to do it.
How often, how long, and
And the way it works is you get a website, you subscribe to a service that will archive your podcast and then send it out to iTunes, Spotify, and all that stuff. So the one I use, it's Libsyn. You just do it for $15 a month. You get about 3.5 hours worth of audio footage or audio data, and that's to me that's 3 podcasts a month. So there you go. That's my limit. But I can for $20 I can probably do 5 podcasts a month. But I kind of want to just sort of like, I don't want to push it too hard yet because then you get burnt out and stuff. You just want to sort of build an audience and find out what the show is all about too. That's
sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good. Good on you.
If you had a podcast, what would you call it?
Oh,
you don't have a name for it yet? What the hell, man?
Well, it's funny. I did. Yeah, I don't have a name, but I went in when I was playing with it. I was doing it on YouTube. So I created a channel. And on it, like, totally, I was messing around. But I literally put in Tuck Show, one word.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that's it.
That was really, it wasn't like I didn't do a nuanced business search, or I just plugged it in because you had to do it on the spot. And then I put this ridiculous photo from some party in Whitefish, Montana. But anyway, I don't know.
All right. So for my listeners of all those people that are out there right now, so that's what you have to do. You can't talk like in the moment. You have to also talk about to people in the future.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So Tucker and I know each other from Notre Dame College.
That's right.
Wilcox, Saskatchewan. I haven't seen you in probably 26 years, maybe?
At least. I was trying to think of when we would have seen each other.
You went there for 12th grade, right? You lived in the dorm, right?
I did grade 12. I actually upgraded. It was like, boys will rip me on. It's my second year of grade 12.
Oh, okay. So So you're just getting some more classes and because that's why you're in the dorm. You're in my dorm. We were Badgers.
We were Badgers, and I was the one and only neutral boy, what they like to call me, because I was like older than everybody by a year, so I could pull beers.
Yeah, well, the other part about it too for Notre Dame was if you're a new boy, it doesn't matter. So grade 9 to grade 12, it's your first year, you're a new boy. And so you're supposed to be stuck with all the shit jobs. And I know you did your jobs like you're assigned to do.
Yeah.
I don't recall you. Did anybody make you actually clean their hot pot?
Yeah, I didn't have to.
Somebody gave you chest shots.
I passed on doing that. I was also kind of a big guy, and so I just didn't. No one. I got a free pass, but I still played the role and did the dorm jobs and tried to keep there. Yeah.
I think you could got away with being a real dick, but you weren't a dick, so that was kind of fortunate. But yeah, you were a man among boys in there too. You were pretty ripped at the time, compared to most of us, anyway. So it was pretty cool, though. But you're always pretty good to. I don't know. I think you're good to everybody. I think that's. You're good to me, and I wasn't very popular or anything, but I was just a guy. But I remember that much. So if you're good to me, I thought you'd be good to anybody. So well done, you.
Yeah, no, certainly didn't have any enemies there. I don't think I loved it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I tried to have a good time.
Where were you from? Why'd you go there? And where are you from, Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm from Ontario originally, actually. Cambridge, Ontario, which is kind of like Kitchener-Waterloo area.
Okay.
And really how I ended up out there was I had been playing junior in Ontario in Cambridge from actually the age of 14. And so I made junior B, which is quite big in Midwestern Ontario, the Midwestern Junior League. So I was playing for the Cambridge Winterhawks, and there was a guy there who was coaching with my dad. Mike Sitko was his name. And he had come from Notre Dame. And they were coaching together at an all-boys school in Kitchener, St. Jerome's. They were coaching hockey, big powerhouse hockey team. And he said, you got to get out to Notre Dame. And I was 16 at the time. And, I had been drafted and was trying to make the OHL and all that stuff. And I was like a cocky little bugger and said, no chance. No way I'm going out there. And then fast forward, I was released from the London Knights, and I was failing miserably at school. And I had a lot of friends who were into some bad stuff, and I was headed down a bad path, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, I want to go to Notre Dame. I need to. And then we made a deal. He said, if you go, we have money set aside for college. This will be your college. You have to get a scholarship. So I said, I agree. I'll take a crack at it. I went and I played 3 years juniors.
Yeah. That's cool. You were a pure hockey player coming out there. There's a rumor that it's unsubstantiated. You were what's the word for it? You were the inspiration for the character Riley on Letterkenny. Is that true or false?
Yeah. That's probably pretty accurate.
Pretty close, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure. I was definitely pretty rough around the edges there. Bit of a hick.
No, but it's good. I'm glad you were there, though. It's pretty cool. It's such a good experience for everybody that was there. Have you been back for high school reunions or anything like that?
I did go back. Me, myself, and Marty Staples, and Mike Kushner, and I think even Brendan Dean, Ronnie Kelly. We all went back for our 10-year. Okay. Or was it our 15? Shit.
Well, 10 years is a big one. I'm not sure if 15.
No, it was our 10 year. It's our 10 year.
It's usually 10, 20, and 25, and then they start that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, we went back. I mean, it was great. It was awesome. Had a great time. Yeah, I went to into Regina. Just really hanging out with the teachers was the best part, to be honest. And their buddies, but. Yeah. I went for my 20. I didn't go for 10. I was pretty nervous. I didn't have a good time at Notre Dame. I didn't have a lot of close friends, and I was pretty. No. Yeah, I was pretty. I think I had a lot of issues I was going through. Well, I certainly don't remember you having issues, at least on the surface. You seem like a pretty normal, happy-go-lucky guy there. How many years were you there?
3 years. So I was grade 11 when you arrived. So I was second year at that time. And then I graduated the year after. My brother, Jason, he was a 4-year Hound.
Yeah.
You remember him? He was in your class. So,
I remember Jason.
But I come from a really small town, and then so you're there and you're like a really good player, right? And doing pretty well, and everything goes easy for you. And you go to Notre Dame, we're like, not so much, right? And there's a lot of kids like that for a small town. But I was actually there for high school. It's because the school back home was not good. It was really bad. My marks are bad. And I was a smart kid. My marks are just in the tank. Jay had gone there for a couple of years, and I was like, I want to go there too. Because one thing they did, they took education very seriously at Notre Dame. And even though it was a hockey school, but you had to make an effort. They didn't give you any leverage because you're a player. If you have an assignment to do and you're on a road trip, well, you get it done before your road trip.
You get it done. I know. Yeah. It's a little different when you go to university.
Yeah. So then they, but it was kind of a tough place for me. I never really fit in very well there, I guess. But then I went there for my 20th, And we had a great time. Like, Christ, who's all there? Like, just there's a lot of really good guys. Well, guys like Cads was there, and
That's, yeah.
Pat Node and
Pat Node and Tansom and those guys.
Pro Hard. Tams didn't make it, but Johnny Cameron.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Johnny and I ended up super tight. Like my last couple of years there, Johnny.
Yeah, he was on your team, eh?
Yeah,
And we've actually hooked up a few times since. He comes to town, and I'm a Saskatoon. I'm his boy in Saskatoon, so he comes to town, and we go for a drink or have lunch or whatever it is. But yeah, we had and Sunil Sitala was there. Holy Christ, we just had it, and we just laughed the whole time. In fact, the one day we just went to Leopold's. The first Leopold's is in Regina. We sat there all day. We didn't even go to the school or nothing. We just sat around that bar and laughed for about 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, Seats is beauty.
Oh, he still is. And we went for our 25th. Fewer of us went for our 25th. He was there for that one, though, so that was pretty cool. Oh, cool. But it was just kind of cool because you kind of look back as an adult and you realize everybody was a kid back then, and nobody knew anything.
You're kids. And it's like I feel a little bad almost when I look back, because I feel like I don't pump the school enough in terms of what it did for me in individual growth. I tend to give a lot of that to my alma mater, my university, but really, I mean, the Notre Dame is really what made us, it's not for everyone. Like, it's not for everybody.
No, it isn't. And I don't know if I'd send my kids there, although I know it's changed since we went there too. Like, there's fewer kids, the rooms are bigger, which is not bad.
Nice. Oh, good. That's about time.
And I talked to Bob Baumuller. He was actually my house leader my first years in Badger, and he's teacher there now. And I talked to him about it, and he's like, yeah, one thing we don't let anybody say at school anymore is suck it up. You don't say that, because it's tough. It's tough at school for these kids. They're 15 years old. It's tough enough. You don't say suck it up, right? It's not to say like you baby them. It's like, but you don't demean them either, because kids and everybody has to go through their own journey, and they have to get through it. Support that, especially from the teacher side of things. Like, what do we need to help you out? Sure. So, that was interesting, kind of a point of view, and I kind of like that. And they don't do new boy, old boy anymore either.
Yeah,
which I never liked. I
saw it changing even while I was there in my 3 years. It was changing by the end.
Oh yeah, I hated making new boys do shit. Like, I don't do that. Like.
Yeah, it was a little over the top. Yeah.
And you're expected to do that as an old boy too, making new boys do shit too. And it's like, I don't know. So anyways, it's getting better, and it's kind of nice having that perspective. Growing up, I actually appreciate it a lot more where I am right now. And
that's good.
Yeah, I think so. So that first reunion, that was really nice just to see everybody.
So you wouldn't recommend, or you wouldn't recommend people going back?
Well, I think if you're going to go there, you better be in store for what it is. Like, it's just because guys are going to kick your ass anymore like they used to. It's still a tough place to be. You're away from your parents and your friends, and you better be trying to achieve something there with your time there. Because you better have your goal. Yeah, you better have your goals or your priorities in place. Because I know, like all of us back then. Yeah, I know. I mean, when I went there, I showed up there. I was super rough. I needed a lot of help. I knew about the hockey side, but I needed to be straightened out for sure. Yeah.
But it's not for everyone. I always say that. Some people can't handle it, and I get it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good. It's nice chatting about that a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and then now you're in Calgary area somewhere now? Yeah,
I'm in Calgary. I came here.
Actually, you know what? Where'd you go for hockey before? Because you played. Where'd you go to university?
So I ended up at Acadia University. In Nova Scotia, Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
Right. Yeah.
And, but coming out of Notre Dame, you're kind of brainwashed. I think it's changed now, but back then, you're kind of brainwashed into NCAA or nothing, right? And and it's the route you wanted to go, and I had some offers, but they were partial, and quite honestly, my SATs were terrible and all that stuff. So I had some partials that really weren't worth it for me to chase, and then I got right at the end, I got a great offer from Acadia, and they were ranked number 1 in the country. So that's where I went.
Yeah, and Canadian University now, CIS, is getting a lot better in terms of a lot more competitive with their scholarships, and the schools are always really solid too, like in Canada. Like, America, like especially the undergrads, it's sort of hit and miss with a lot of those schools. Who the
Yeah.
hell was it? Dave Tanner, right? He was at Notre Dame when we were there. He got a 4-year ride to Yale and his undergraduate degree. He had to go like do his master's at the U of R because like an undergraduate degree in the States is
Right. It's not the same. Yeah.
it's
They're
college. It's not a university. Whereas Canada, I
not.
think it's more, I don't know,
Mhm.
it's more well-respected bachelor's degree, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Well, and
So.
you know what I found interesting too was even the hockey side, because you go to Canadian colleges, most of the guys have played up until their overage year at junior, and maybe
Oh,
they
yeah.
missed the draft or whatever. So we were ranked number one in the country, but anytime we went down, we would have exhibition against Harvard, Providence, all these schools, and like we would honestly lay the boots to these guys.
Yeah,
Like,
because
but they were younger. They were
you're
younger.
men. Yeah,
They
yeah.
were men. Yeah.
And most of you guys started when we were 20 or more, right? Or even
That's
older,
right.
right?
Yeah, and
So,
they're like 17, right? So
yeah. No, it's good hockey. I really enjoy the Huskies here in Saskatoon is what I watch.
Huskies,
So,
yeah.
gotta,
So I ended up here. Huskies, they're big rivals. Yeah, the big rivals of ours.
they can't win a national title though if their life
No,
depended on it. It's just they're always
yeah,
like one step away, and
yeah.
feel bad for their coach. He's a hell of a coach.
I know. No, they're always there. They were. I mean, I was in a Final Four twice, and I mean, they were there.
Yeah,
We actually played them in my last year in the semis, and
yeah,
they absolutely shit kicked us physically. I remember all their players' names, and I ended up playing with them later. But
yeah,
squeaked by, and then we lost to the national final. But
yeah. No, that's cool, man. Right on. And then so you graduated. Did you graduate?
I actually didn't. No, huge surprise. No,
Well, you never know. I don't know.
no, it's true. Me and my buddies always joke about it, but I just recognized at the time that I was having a blast, and
Yeah,
I was really performing on the ice, and I always from day one in school, I always questioned the validity of what was being taught, always. So I just didn't take it serious enough, and I
yeah,
just recognized I was taking a student loan out just to have fun when I didn't even need to. So I just went and played some professional after.
okay,
I left. I should have continued to play, but I left.
yeah.
I don't regret it.
Stay in the States, or did you go Europe, or where'd you go?
Yeah, I went down to the States. I went down to North Carolina first. It was called the United League.
Oh yeah, yeah.
U-Haul, and did a little stint. Actually, first I ended up with a national team, and I ended up playing with Jeff Almer and
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Willie Mitchell.
Yeah, Willie.
And
Yeah,
actually, right behind me is that national photo. Almer's in there, and
yeah.
there'd be I got to be a few other guys anyway. But
I'm trying to get Almer on this podcast too. But
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
He's playing coy, so I'm gonna get him one of these days. So
Oh, you'll get him. You'll snag him. I'll tell
Yeah.
him. I'll text him. I'll tell him
well, I asked him like 2 days after he never got his contract renewed with Arizona.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm still working on some stuff. I'm like, Christ, I called you now because I thought you'd have time.
Like, yeah. What do you got? You can't take an hour? Like, go out to your garage, fire it up.
I gotta give him time.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
We'll get him yet. But anyways, that's cool. I didn't realize that. That's a cool little tidbit. I had no idea because I knew you went to Nova Scotia for CIAU as it was known at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you were on the national team there and played around.
Yeah.
That must have been a really neat experience, hey? Like
Awesome. Yeah. No, it was it was amazing. I mean, you certainly didn't go there to make money. I mean, it was a stepping stone. Everybody was aware of that. They pay you awful. But it's a stepping stone, and then you play for the Spengler and the Zesty and all those, and then but they got that program dissolved, right? As soon as the NHLers were allowed to play, the program just fizzled out. Right?
Yeah. Which is kind of unfortunate because it was actually a pretty unique little program that gave a lot of great international experience to some younger guys that maybe would have had an opportunity otherwise.
Totally.
And see the world and meet people. And well, it is what it is, I guess. But
yeah,
it's too bad though.
But there were, I remember even that year there were guys coming down. Like this is what happened. It was that guys would be holdouts or they're placed on waivers or whatever. Like I remember Jeff Friesen, Brian McCabe, like they were all playing with us.
Right.
You were either holdouts and so guys were constantly getting cut. And so
Yeah.
I was only there for 2 months, and then that's when I headed south because guys just kept fizzling down.
Oh, you got the picture.
I did, yeah. That's right. It's real.
Wasn't nothing.
No, it was great. Yeah, it was great. Great experience for sure.
Oh man, right on. And then you played states for a while. Or played in the minor pro for a while.
Yeah. I had a couple
rode the bus, had some fun, I guess.
That's it, man. Ride the bus, 7. You just party, and oh man, it's some fun stories from down there, and some cool cities, some terrible cities.
Yeah.
But no, I had fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Central League, United League, all those. They all kind of merged into one now. I think it's just the Central. No, but there's a bunch of guys from Notre Dame that went and played those kind of played all over the place too, which is kind of interesting, and it's kind of nice going to the Hockey Database webpage and actually looking up a few names. If you think of a name, hey, did they ever play hockey? Where do they go? Right. So yeah, sure.
Pretty good players too, and a lot of guys.
I played against Holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that would have been the United, yeah. And he was just, he was a fighter, right? That's all he did. He just fought.
Wow. Well, he's a good guy, though.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Yeah. All right. So when did you come to Calgary? When did you move there?
So I got to Calgary. The national team was based out of Calgary, and so that would have been in 98. Yeah, okay. I ended up moving in. I moved here full time in 2000.
Okay.
I did my little stint down the States, and then I came back. I knew I was coming back to Calgary the whole time. So.
Right. I moved there in 2002. I was done school, so I moved there. Yeah.
Okay.
I was there for 7 years. Yeah, it was fun.
Where were you in the city?
I was in Mission.
Mission. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was on 25th and 4th, I guess it was. And yeah, it was great, man. I didn't even have a car for a long time because I worked downtown. Everything was like on 17th. All my buddies lived there, condos or whatever. It was awesome. I just hoofed it everywhere. Took a cab ride, and
yeah, you didn't need a car.
I eventually got a car, but like if you have a car, then you have to pay for a parking spot. And I was like, I'm just staying in town, man. This is great. I love it. It was such a nice area to live. And during the whole Red Mile type stuff too, right? Like I was right there.
That was unbelievable.
Walk home. We had to take a couple pisses on the way home, but it was always like right there though.
I probably floated right by you during that run in 04 there, right?
Possibly, yeah. What part of town would have you lived around that time?
I've been from the time I moved here till now. I've been on the hill, like up Signal Hill.
Oh wow.
Spring Hill, Coach Hill. I've been up here the entire time. Yeah.
Oh Christ, yeah. Well, it's nice. Yeah, I got a lot of buddies up there now too. So. But yeah, like I moved away in 2008, and part of the reason was, well, I was a seismologist, Like I worked for a geophysicist for a while, but I hated it. It was boring work.
You hated it? Yeah.
It wasn't for me. And so I found a job in Saskatoon where I went to university. And then I went to, and another thing was all my buddies were getting married. And so they're all like moving away. And we were all getting older, and
you're going out to pasture, and you still weren't. You were still in the game.
We had about 4 or 5 just amazing years though, just being single and just ripping up in those times. Look, I had like for the 2004 run, like I had tickets to all the games. Like I went to all the games.
Sure.
It was just, and I knew all the bars.
What company were you working with?
They were called GeoX when I joined them, and they got bought out by a company called Devesco. And Devesco handles, they data. They're a data company is what they are.
Yeah.
So.
Very familiar, yeah.
So, but I wasn't very happy. The people are nice. I just didn't. I was in front of the screen all day. Just is what I was doing. Click, 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 click. Boring as hell. So,
yeah.
They pay you well too. That was the worst part, right? Because then you don't have
handcuffs.
Exactly. I got married, and I said, well, and I was living downtown. I was like, well, if you get a place, we want to have kids. We're gonna got to get a bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
So that means living out in the middle of nowhere, or a small little place closer to the center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're either driving someplace or getting something kind of small that maybe you're not really happy with, and you have to upgrade after a few years. I mean, that was where our thought was. But then if you move to Saskatoon, where my wife is from, then, everything's 15 minutes away and you have everything you
I
need.
love Saskatoon. I love
It's a nice town. And her mom has a little cabin north of town. And we said, the summers, we know what we're going to do in the summertime. We're going to go to the cabin. And that's what we've been doing every summer. Go to the cabin. We go there almost every weekend. And
Awesome.
most of my holidays are there. And it's not much, but it's beachfront and it's beautiful. And Saskatoon's a nice town. It's great. I had a great time.
Town. I had to. I've been in the oil and gas industry for a long time now, but one of my older gigs, I was peddling drilling rigs for Acadia Drilling, and I had landed a contract with BHP right at the Jansen mine.
Oh, wow.
2 drilling rigs, so I had to go and basically renew the contract, every 6 months. So I would go and I stay at the Delta Besborough. Always, that was my favorite spot. I was go to. I'd stay for a week. I'd take everybody out, entertain.
Yeah.
And, I like Saskatoon. I always have.
Yeah, it's got a nice downtown too. It's kind of cool. Yeah. It's happening actually. Well, so COVID happened, but it's picking up again too. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't go so much anymore, but that's it. And you have you have a daughter, right? Is that right? A daughter?
Yeah, we got a daughter. I've got one daughter. She's just over. Well, she turned 3 in June.
Okay.
And we're trying. And I'm not getting any younger, but we're trying for number 2. We have been trying for a little while now. So
yeah, it'd be nice to have a sibling, hey? At least have a sibling, right? So yeah, I got 2 kids too, and that was same thing. We had them a lot closer than we anticipated or had planned.
How old are they now?
8 and 9. So the 9-year-old, he's a hockey player, and the 8-year-old, he does dance, hip hop, and he does soccer. So
no way. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I love coaching them both. Well, I don't coach hip hop, but I coach.
Oh, come on.
I don't know anything like.
You're a closet b-boy. I can tell. The hat. You put the hat on after the camera's off.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that, but yeah. So
yeah.
And then, anyways, but yeah, and coaching's great, man. It's kind of cool as kids get older too. Like they just get so much more fun. When their babies are kind of boring. they cuddle. They're fascinating.
Sure, yeah, they're blobs. They're blobs. That's
they want their mom all the time. But as you get older, especially 3 more, you'll notice, right? Dad becomes the center of the world.
We're glued to him.
Well, that's good, man. Yeah, it changes you too. That's kind of a good thing.
It does. Big, for the better, no question. Yeah.
All right, so let me think here. I'm gonna segue in here. We've been talking for half an hour already. That's awesome. See how cool. See how easy this is. It's so much fun.
Seamless.
All right, we're gonna get to the crux of the matter here. So you posted a couple of videos.
I did.
About a month ago, I guess, the first one came out, give or take.
Yeah, September 1st. I remember the date.
Yeah. So tell my listeners what the video was about. Yes. Yeah,
I just I had to have heart surgery. It was my second heart surgery. I had my first heart surgery in 2015, and really this time around, I just it's funny. After I was told I had to have this surgery again, I remember telling Dana, my wife, I just said, like, I don't know if should I like chronicle this stuff? Like, I felt like I needed a way to deal with it, like, because I was just in my own head. It's hard not to be.
Yeah.
And so I kept saying it too. I put it off for so long. I was like, I should really be filming something. I didn't know what to film, but anyway, I finally just threw together this video literally the day before my surgery and just kind of spilled my guts.
Mm-hmm.
How this happened to me and why and what they were going to do really in the surgery, right? So it's just pretty crazy. You don't think that you're going to end up having these bad things or crazy life-altering events happen to you, but they can happen to any of us. And so you go through your life thinking, geez, if I ever was paralyzed, or if I ever had to do something with my brain, or if they ever had to cut into my heart, I couldn't deal with it. Well, until you have to.
Yeah.
Until you do a choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what was the deal with your heart? What's going on there with your heart?
Yeah. The heart, it's just a murmur, right? Like I had a murmur, and they're super common. But really what we've learned from the murmur is, like, I got it later in life. I've had 6 knee surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
Like total, I've had like 12 serious major surgeries, hand,
Mm-hmm.
face, whatever. But I had 6 knee surgeries. After the last surgery in '07, they found a murmur. Oh,
Oh, okay. Wow.
okay. Well, then we just monitored it. But the
Mm-hmm.
monitoring back then, even it's not that long ago, was just like they just listen and go, "Oh, wow, it's quite the murmur." Okay, but you're good. That's it, right? And so they clear me. But really, you need to do an EK, an electrocardiogram. There's an
Yeah.
echo, there's an electro. The electro tells you immediately um, what what it is, and so the murmur is just your heart. The valve leaks, so they call it a leaky valve or a murmur, heart regurgitation, mitral regurgitation, and so the blood pools either into your lungs or your heart or both.
Okay. Okay.
Then your heart grows. Most people with the murmur, that doesn't happen. Like it's a slightly wonky beat,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not severe enough. Mine just happened to be severe. I
Mm-hmm.
got and they can detect it. So in this day and age, they can now fix it before it's a problem. Back then, it was like you waited till you had essentially a fatality or you dropped.
Yeah. Wow.
So their
It's crazy.
technology is such that they can do it progressively, right?
Yeah. Do you think it was brought on by the fact that you have such an awesome mustache and it's just too awesome for
For
that heart?
sure, guaranteed, guaranteed. We just did family.
Too much awesome.
We just did family photos today, and she was like, "So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your mustache?" I said, "I'll put some stuff in it."
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Trim.
That's what COVID brought me. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, she didn't make you wear a mask, I guess, eh,
No,
for your family photos.
no, I think she likes it now. So
So anyway, so you got a pretty wicked scar, man. Like, and you posted the second video. It wasn't very long after your first one. I thought it maybe be a couple of weeks or so.
yeah,
Posted right away. Hey.
it was quick. Yeah, yeah. No, the surgery was so I had the surgery September 2nd,
Okay.
and I was out of there by second, third, fourth. I was out of there September 7th, I think, on the
Yeah.
Sunday.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I filmed like the next day or two after being home. So, but yeah, I was in the hospital for 4 days and then out, and then I did the video. And then, yeah, it's funny, in the video I was gonna give the big show of the scar, but it's pretty scabby at that point too. And anyway. I didn't do it. So it's pretty good now. But
Yeah. And well, you posted a picture of your scar
I did.
recently
Yeah.
there, and it's probably cleaned up. I take it
Yeah.
a lot better than it was, and it's incredible how small the incision actually is. Well, it's not a small incision; it's huge. But like
Right.
20 years ago,
Oh yeah, it'd be much
it
worse.
would be pretty
worse.
gnarly, right? And it's
Well, even my no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It'd be way worse. And even my last scar from 2015 when they came in through the side,
yeah,
you actually can't even see the thing anymore.
yeah,
Sure, this one might be a little more visible because of the length of it. But,
yeah. Well, you won't be losing that one though. But it's whatever, 4 or 5 inches, I guess it is, or.
Mhm.
That's incredible what they can do now, and it just has to be perfectly big enough just so they can kind of get in there a little bit and.
That's why they were able to fix it so well this time, though, comparative to my first one, which was a minimally invasive. They're actually able. I mean, you hate to think about it, but they're actually able to like peek at through a window and visually see your heart. Like, it's not meant to see the light of day like that, but they could see it and say, "Hey, your valve's good." So they just repaired it instead of replacing it. So
yeah, that's fortunate. Hey, holy Christ! So
huge.
because
Yeah.
if they would have had to replace it, you would have been taking sort of medication to make your body accept it for the rest of your life and that sort of thing, or for a lot more things like that, right? I guess.
I'd be on some pretty hardcore blood thinners, and it'd be a mechanical valve, and then then you got to watch. You got to watch your drinking or your levels of drinking on the thinners, and you can drink on it, but it's just it's harder on your body. The blood thinners are harder on your body, for
right?
Sure.
Yeah, and that's
I don't have to take anything.
Yeah, so. And you are old, older than me, But you're not
Oh,
that old yet. Like you still have a long life ahead of you, right? So that'd be just, the next 30 years or so. You'd be happy to have them, but it'd still be a bit of a pain in the ass. So it's really nice that you're able to, it's a bit of a blessing for you. Hey, I think
it
that's
is.
wonderful.
No, you're right. That's the word I used in my second video. I didn't believe it. Honestly, I thought, like Dana said to me, you kept your valve. And I was out of it. I don't really remember, but she said I was pissed off because that was not the direction we were supposed to be going. So I was like, they kept my valve. That means there's problems. But she really meant, no, it's a good thing. Like they didn't have to replace it. So anyway,
that's great.
It's pretty crazy. I don't mentally is the hardest part. And this time it was difficult, obviously, having a daughter. So my preparation was totally different than the first time. The first time it was literally like, hope I live, I should live, I'll live, right? Will I live? What are the odds of living again? You think about like survival.
Yeah.
This time I was just like, I want to play with my daughter after. I can't pick her up.
Yeah.
She's gonna know I'm hurt. That's all I thought about.
Yeah, and kids or people who've grown up without their dads or lost their dads at a very, very young age too. You know those people, right? And it's, they usually grow up okay, but there's always that missing there. You don't want to be that. You want to do that to your daughter, right? So it's, I feel you, man. Parenthood changes you.
It does.
It makes you paranoid or something, right? So
turns us into big saps. It's for the better, but it does. Turns us into big softies, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love being a dad.
Me too. It's the best.
It's fun.
It is fun. Shockingly.
The little shits up there. They're supposed to be in bed, but they're not. But
are they?
Yeah, whatever.
That's why I came down here. We got an office set up, but wife had to put her down, and she's a maniac at bedtime, so I just came down here.
So are you working from home then, or what? Like, is that? Yeah. You still working? You still working though? Like, how's it going for you in your business and stuff too?
Yeah,
Calgary's tough, right?
It's been Calgary's brutal. Like we're getting shellacked over here. But it's kind of starting to come back on the energy side a little bit. I'm working remotely, and then obviously with the surgery, I've gone down like a couple times, but I've only been going downtown like twice a week prior during COVID, because my job is a lot of schmoozing or entertaining or meeting up with guys, and not everybody's doing that, and even if it's just not the same, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's very strange. It's very strange that you can't do that anymore, and I miss that.
What about you? So are you working remote then, or what are you?
Well, off and on. Like, so I'm the head of security at my company, and so I have to make sure we have guards in place, and make sure our equipment's working. So I have to run down every once in a while to deal with them at our office. Our office is about 15% full, normal capacity, and we're down to 10. Now we're at 15. We're supposed to get up to 30, but people don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. No. I was in office for a little while in May and June, almost every day, and I hated it. And there's nobody there. It sucks, man.
Yeah, I know. It's just super creepy.
And and so then I've been working from home mostly. I just go down maybe once a week or so.
You would kind of check in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm doing thermal cameras. So that's my job, is to help with that for our company, because we have mine sites in northern Saskatchewan, and so we're trying to get, for all their flights, make sure people have these thermal cameras that can take their temperature, so somebody doesn't have to stand there with those stupid guns that don't work anyways.
Oh my God.
So I've been doing that. I've been running around. I was running around all day doing that, trying to get some cameras ready to go to Prince Albert. I had them installed there. I was up there last week. I have to do repairs. I don't know any of this shit. Like, I have to go and do all the wiring and the programming. I don't know any of this. I had no idea I'd be doing any of this kind of stuff.
You really wanted to be the swab guy, right? Into the nose, the old.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that too, because after I watched your video, so my wife she had a bit of a cough, and so she couldn't go back to work. She works at the library, and so they're allowing people back to the library, and she had a bit of a cough. She's like, I don't fit the criteria. I have to stay at home. She's like, maybe I'll go So she phoned up the number 811. It's like, can we get tested? And they're like, yeah, go down and get tested. And I had a bit of a cold too. I was kind of sniffling and stuff. So she and I went down and got her COVID test. And I watched, and I was like, I don't want to do this. But then I watched your video. You're like, I'm just going to go do it. And he said the worst part was, what's the worst part about it all?
The lead up.
The lead up to it. That's what it was. He said, Tucker said the worst part about this is the lead up, and I'm just going to go and. So I thought about your heart surgery and let them stick that stupid swab down my nose.
Yeah, you just get it over with. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I can do this. He got his heart opened. They can take some of my snot out if that's what they want to do. And
same thing. Yeah, it's totally the same level.
So thank you for that. That was wonderful. Yeah, that's such an inspirational thing. And it's so clean anyway, so that's good. Our kid coughed that day. It's first day back in school. He started coughing. And then so I had to go pick him up from school.
Oh my God. So did you, and that thing, it like just hits the back of your throat, right? Like
yeah, it makes you feel like, you get water up your nose. That's what it makes it feel like.
Okay.
Like you go to a swimming pool and go down water slides and get turned around and get water up your nose. And it's that uncomfortable feeling. It doesn't hurt, but it's like you kind of hate it.
Super awkward.
But and then it kind of stays there for a while. So like water up your nose kind of goes away after a bit. But this one, it was like for a few hours, it feels like it's water up your nose a little bit, and that's it. So it's just because it's your back, your things are all, I don't know, sensitive to that, I guess. So
yeah.
But it's weird because the thing's like this long, and it's like fuck. He goes like halfway back your head. It's amazing how far back your sinus.
It reminds me of I've had my nose broken like 9 times, and I finally fixed it when I stopped playing hockey. And they pulled out this big. It looks like a long black carrot. And they just pull it. It's like and then they just. I don't know. Do you ever have to fix your nose or anything?
No, I've had a broken nose, but
it's got a light on the end of this thing. They just basically they go, we're just gonna take a look inside your nose. They come up and they just start shooting it in like a handkerchief, and it just goes all the way down your throat. They check to pass it, and you're just sitting there going, and then they pull it out, and then it's over. Disgusting.
Jesus Christ, man. Bodies are gross.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. So there you go, listeners. You have that going for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's such a good story, man. It's been really nice hearing that kind of stuff. So do you get to play hockey then afterwards? And are you allowed to participate in sports or?
Yeah,
now?
I can return.
Are you going to?
I haven't played hockey in like 5, maybe more, 6 years. Problem is I'm a bit of a tin man at this point in my life. I need to fix my knee also. And that
me too.
It's a tibial osteotomy is what I got to do. It's seriously, I was always bowed, and I'm sure everybody remembers me being a little bowed, but it's quite bad, my bow.
Oh, wow. Hey, yeah.
So they realign, actually Stevie Eisenman did it. It's called a tibial osteotomy, and they try to do that before a knee replacement.
Oh, okay.
So they straighten your leg out, and I have to do it now with a daughter, and I want to be able to. I'm in a lot of pain, so I gotta fix it. So I can go back to sports, yes.
But but the heart isn't the issue. It's more the rest of yourself, hey?
Yeah, I'm walking like 10 kilometers a day right now. Like no
Holy
problem.
shit.
Yeah.
That's
it's
pretty good.
I'm back.
Yeah. I've been walking an hour every day as well. So that's 6K I've been walking.
Nice.
I've taken really bad care of myself over the years. And so now I'm redoing everything in my life here right now. I started actually a few years ago. I stopped drinking pop. I stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Went hard on the keto for a while. Lost actually a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I got back on a bit, and but I've held it in check. And so like I'm having a drink, but it's vodka soda. Like it's not beer. So low.
Yeah, that's all right. Low. I got a little
low
scotch, just straight pure diesel, so it's easy.
Yeah, and then now I started running last year, but it hurt my leg. It was just like a bad sprain on my calf, and so like I was like, maybe I shouldn't. And running is hard on your knees, and I had bad knees. I had my bad knees in university. Like I dislocated my one knee, and
did you?
Yeah, like it was bent sideways. It was not good. So I had that had to get it all repaired, and that one's not so bad. My other knee is actually even worse, and I've had surgery on that one too. Probably not as much as you, but it never gets 100%, right? And
Never. Yeah. Once you have to have one. Yeah.
I was
So how
playing
many
hockey,
surgeries have you had at your knees? 2 or 3?
just two, one on each knee. So the one that was worse, it was the MCL snapped in two,
Oh yeah.
the inside one, and a little bit of damage in the ACL, but not that much. But that one they repaired it. And I don't know if you remember, I actually had crutches for 3 months that
I
year.
do remember that. That's
And
right.
my knee was at a 90-degree angle. It was awful. We're in the heart of winter, right, in Saskatchewan. But the other knee has its ACL, so it was actually a car accident. I was in, my knee got twisted up, and they fixed it, but it's never been the same. And I was playing hockey about 2006, maybe in Calgary with my team, and I took a bad turn, and it was always loose. Hey, it's just loose.
Right. Yeah.
And and then it just gave out again. It gave out a few times. Gave out that day. I was like, fuck, I can't play hockey anymore. But I coach. Yeah, I coach. But I got to get it fixed. But running isn't good for your knees anyway. So I just walk.
Sure.
I walk as fast as I can. Listen to a book and hoof it, and have a nice neighborhood. There's lots of really nice park here. So I just
maybe hit the Home Depot. Hey, look at us all grown up, right? Walks.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, what else you want to talk about? Is there anything else you want to know?
Well, so you're curious. You said you're into the security on the mine. You said you're like on a lot of the mines. Like are you out at like Esterhazy and like Cameco or?
So Cameco, yeah, I'm Cameco, but we're up north. So we're all the uranium mines up north. Yeah. So Key Lake, Cigar Lake, McArthur River, Rabbit Lake, those are our mines.
Nice.
So
I've been out there. Yeah.
You been out there?
I have, yeah.
Nice.
Long time ago. I used to get all the potash work with Akita, like PCS, Agrium, Valet, all those guys I drilled for. Exploratory stuff, but yeah. Yeah. So uranium is kind of cool. It's way up north, so we have to fly up there. Like the potash mines are pretty close, but the mines up north they're really small. They're not like the potash mines. They're tiny little mines, right? Because there's so much uranium that's packed into small little spaces up there. It's pretty cool, actually. McArthur River, like I did the calculation. I used to do communications actually for Cameco before I got moved to security. I moved to security because of the Fukushima. Fukushima devastated the nuclear industry, so they did cutbacks. They moved people out of their roles, and the position was open, so I took. Perfect.
Whatever. And but anyways, like so, McArthur River. I was thinking it was like 7% of the United States energy. All the United States comes from that little mine. It's a square. It's about a square mile. Area.
Amazing.
Mind. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah, it's insane.
I had no idea. People don't like nuclear energy, but it's pretty awesome.
What's the problem? I know.
Well, people get freaked out by it because of radiation. They don't understand radiation.
Well, all they think of is bomb Hiroshima and
Chernobyl,
right?
Yeah.
They think of that. It's hard to get past that, but I mean, it really is the future, right?
Yeah. Well, the reason why it was so bad, Chernobyl's partly because idiots. They're Soviets doing it, and then they didn't have any safety precautions and no containment for it. But the other part of it is like the reason why it's so scary is because there's so much energy in there, and this one little mine has like power plant can have so much energy. So anyway, it's been kind of an eye opener. I'm a big fan of natural resources in general. So I work with oil and gas, and now I'm doing uranium. I just feel better like taking stuff out of the ground and uses out of it. That's kind of what I kind of like about things. So
well, that's what we're on the same page there. We're getting the shaft out here. We know that. We just wish the rest of the country would understand. And again, it's just political, right? I don't think that people really get too up in arms about it.
No, but it's unfortunate though, because like I don't know what the alternative is. That's the issue. Like if there was an alternative.
Well, stop with you can't turn the light switch off. I mean, that's the message. You can't turn one off and turn the other one on, right? Yeah. We understand that, and we know what funds the R&D for the newer, cleaner or greener or whatever you want to call it. I mean, the energy sector is the one that funds the R&D for this stuff.
Yeah. It's silly. Well, if they would shut their lights off,
right,
let's do from that end. Start there, but they're not doing that, right? They're just demanding it, and it's just they do the only thing they can do is control, Alberta and the Canadian oil patch. It's the only thing under central Canada's control because they're still bringing in oil from elsewhere. So
That's all. Control.
it's just too bad because it's good. I saw it was going to come in Calgary a little bit, but I don't think it was going to be that as bad as it was. That's another reason why I got out of Calgary. I was like, it's because it's booming pretty good there, right? And
Sure. Yeah.
I was like, but I don't think it was going to be this bad. It's pretty horrible, man, with those buildings.
When Justin got in, we knew it would be bad regardless. But yeah, none of us could have foreseen how bad it would be.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Whatever.
What do you do?
It is what it is.
It's what it is. Yeah. We had a good run. I'm sitting around here hanging around waiting for the next 10-year boom and then retiring.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It happens. It does come back. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back again. It might.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. So I don't know what else to say. I guess you still see some of the boys that are there. I take it, like some of your buddies from school still once in a while.
From Notre. I see like Notre Dame guys. If we see, I just had Marty Staples and Kushner over. I haven't seen Kushner in years, but he actually, Kushner was playing at St. FX when I was at Acadia. So
I knew he was in St. FX. Yeah,
he was at St. FX. And he would. He actually forgot. I had to remind him that anytime we would roll into town, him and ironically Sunil Seetal, who went to St. FX, him and Seats would go into the stands and they just chirp me all freaking game. They chirp. And it was awesome. Like, I loved it.
Hey, Tucker. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Tucker, you're a pussy. And I loved it. It was awesome. And anyway, I reminded him of that when he was at my house, like a couple weeks before my surgery. We had a good laugh.
You can't remember that. What the hell, Kushner? Get it together, man.
I know. Yeah, Kush. He's
I know Marty's right by my brother's place. He's in north of downtown there, north of wherever.
Yeah.
So
what's what do you call that area?
It's not Tuxedo, but it's right by there.
It's anyway, he's close.
Anyways, so I haven't seen him at all, though. I sent him a little happy birthday message though, but he was pretty cool. He and I were actually new boys together too. So yeah. So he was a pretty good guy. And he's from Kindersley originally. That's where he's originally from, and so I'm not too far from where he's from as well too. So
Staples Clothing or Staples Menswear.
Menswear, yeah. That's where I got my suits, my little suits, man. When my sister got married, that's where I went.
Nice.
But he, us West Central Saskatchewan boys, we always kind of hang out together. So, or we always had that bond. We're always bond there. So
you just have to turn that off.
Yeah.
Well, he's done well. You know where he's at now, right, Marty? He's the CEO at Topaz Energy. It's a big royalty spinoff, Tourmaline spinoff. Yeah, he's done well.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, good for him.
Yeah, they're private, but they're going public. Only company in Canada going public this fall.
So, wow. I should hook him up. He should like give me an inside deal. He could probably give me an inside deal, hey?
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah, I'm sure. Insider trading, right? They give you the hot tips.
Well, we'll edit this part out, but
yeah.
No, we won't. No. Anyways, yeah. So I guess that's enough here. But I'm looking forward to your podcast. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to do it on Zoom, or are you going to do it through? Did you get some software? Zoom's easy. That's why I'm doing Zoom. It's very, very easy, and I'm doing video. But I haven't done the YouTube yet, and there's a way to do that. I haven't done that yet.
I've kind of I've looked at it in the YouTube.
Yeah.
You can do I think what they say is the Zoom is obviously good because you're recording, right?
Yeah.
You record and then
you could record two audios as well too. So you at least have your own recording plus the masters. So what I do is I can edit out every time I like cough or something like that. I can just edit it out.
Oh, you can. Okay. See, I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's possible, but I'm not sure what you're going to do with that though too. It's good to have a good mic, and good headphones are always good as well. But
that's what I'm going to end up with. I've got that. That is coming. I'll get that stuff rigged up. I don't know. I'll probably be hitting you up for some advice and
Yeah.
make sure I get it dialed. But I'm looking forward to it. I wanna do it too.
Yeah, no, I think you should do it. Look up your old friends. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
You know,
well, that's all I wanted to do.
you got how many friends you know that have interesting stories? Like
Everybody, right? Everybody does. It's all great.
You know, whatever. Well, I did one with a buddy of mine, and I told him actually, I did it around the time you were having your surgery. I said, he actually reminds me of you because this guy's a beauty as well, too.
Yeah.
But I was like, we had no plans or whatever. Usually I take a few notes. Like with you, it's easy. It's like, let's talk about school. Let's talk about your heart thing and then try to fill in the gaps. With him, we're like, let's just see where it is. And it was like, fuck, so much fun. So much fun, man.
Let it flow. Yeah.
Oh, just love doing this kind of stuff.
That's good. That's great. I'm happy. I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Well, what I'll do is we'll sign off here. I'll let you know the links, and I'll when I get it done, I'll just take a day or two. I don't rush these things too much, and
pump it out, and I'm sure we'll see each other pretty soon too. You know, there's no travel restrictions or anything, is there out there?
I don't know. We were actually going to go to Calgary next weekend, my wife and I, but we were going to go to Windermere actually because my sister-in-law has a place out there, and then stop in Calgary to see my brother. But then they were like, you know, what if you get it sick? I don't even worry about dying. It's like if you get the infection, it's like then you got to quarantine, and then there's all this shit around. It's like, you know, and it's just such a hassle.
We're over it.
So we're doing a staycation. Is what we're doing. So we're just gonna get a place at Sheraton downtown. It's got a great water slides. We'll do a couple nights there. Take the kids out of school for a day.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do instead of going to Calgary, which sucks because I haven't been to. This is the first year I haven't been to Calgary since I was probably 14 years old or 15.
Really?
Years old.
Hey.
Yeah, I go.
Well, now next time. I mean, next time you do come, we gotta hook up.
I'll tell my brother. Come visit.
Yeah,
tell Staples to come over and
100%.
We'll have a beer. All right, that's enough.
Awesome. Okay.
Good seeing you, man. Take care. Get healthy.
Yeah, will do. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.